talakayan na natin itong ginawa umano ng ilang Chinese vessels na dangerous maneuvers. Delikado sa mga barko ng Pilipinas sa Ayungin Shoal sa West Philippine Sea. Dahil ay po sa Philippine Coast Guard, sinundan, hinarang at hinaras daw ng dalawang barko ng China. Ang dalawang barko ng Philippine Coast Guard na magdadala lang sana ng supply sa mga miyembro ng Armed Forces of the Philippines na nagbabantay po sa lugar. Ating lugar po yan noong katapusan ng Hunyo. Sa detalye, kausapin natin si via Zoom, si Commodore J. Torriela at tagapagsalita ng Philippine Coast Guard. Magandang umaga po, Commodore J.
Hello sir, magandang umaga po sa inyo sir at sa mga tagapakinig niyo sir.
Opo, Commodore, this is Aljo Bendijo sa programa ni Congressman Erwin Tulfo at Niña Corpus. Commodore, ano po nangyari dyan? Talaga sa insidente ng pangharas sa Coast Guard vessel natin at ng Chinese vessels sa may Ayungin Shoal?
Yes sir, no, as what we have reported yesterday during laging handa sir, press briefing natin sir. Ang Philippine Coast Guard ay nag-deploy ng dalawang Coast Guard vessel, BRP Malabrigo and BRP Malapascua. Ang mission po natin dito is to escort the boats that are going to be used by the Armed Forces of the Philippines Western Command para makapagdala po ng mga supplies sa BRP Sierra Madre sa Ayungin Shoal. Kung kaya po nung June 30, nagkaroon po ng rendezvous point tayo sa Escoda Shoal. Hinintay po natin yung dalawang boats na to. At nang nakarating po ito sa Escoda Shoal, tumulak na po ang dalawang Philippine Coast Guard vessels at ang dalawang boats na to going to Ayungin Shoal. And when we reached the distance of 10.5 nautical miles, ang dalawang China Coast Guard po, 5201 and 4203, ay nag-carry out po ng mga dangerous maneuvers and lumapit po talaga sila with a distance of approximately 100 yards. While at the same time, they are also challenging the presence of the Philippine Coast Guard vessels through their radio. But in response, the Philippine Coast Guard vessels are also asserting our sovereign rights over these waters by responding to the radio challenge and also questioning the presence of all this Chinese Coast Guard. When we came to the point of 2.9 nautical miles from Ayungin Shoal, sinalubong naman tayo ulit ng 6 pang Chinese maritime militia to prevent the Philippine Coast Guard from getting nearer sa Ayungin Shoal. And surprisingly, we were also able to monitor another China Coast Guard vessels that based on the track ng pinanggalingan niya, nang galing pa ito ng Bajo de Masinloc to reinforce the additional as an additional Coast Guard vessel for the 2 China Coast Guard vessel na humaharang sa atin doon. But again, the Philippine Coast Guard is happy to report and that we were able to accomplish our mission. Nakapag-escort po tayo successfully. Nakarating naman po ang mga boats na to sa BRP Sierra Madre at natapos po ang resupply na ito, sir.
Nagkaroon ba ng hamunan o sadyang pinaalis lang ang barko natin? Makailang beses nang ginawa ito ng China? Batay sa inyong documentation dyan, Commodore?
Well, every time, sir, na meron tayong ganitong mission, no? This is the usual scenario that we experience, no? China Coast Guard trying to block, shadow, and even harass the Philippine Coast Guard vessels. Ito na ang usual scenario natin dito sa Ayungin, sir.
Yung insidente yan, kung saan nangyari ang insidente, nasa teritoryo natin, no? We are exercising sovereign rights, tama ba, Commodore? Ang ibig sabihin niyan, lumagpas na sila sa kanilang jurisdiction?
Tama po yan, sir. No? Ang Pilipinas, ang Ayungin Shoal po ay napapaloob sa exclusive economic zone natin. No? We have sovereign rights over these waters.
Pag sinabing sovereign rights, anong ibig sabihin ng Commodore J?
For sovereign rights, sir, we have the authority to exploit and explore ang mga resources dito. No? Ang yaman dito sa parte ng karagatan na ito ay para sa Pilipino. Whether these are aquatic resources or even oil reserves, this belongs to the Filipino people, sir.
So ang tanong dyan, ilang beses na rin tayong nagprotesta laban sa China tungkol sa ginagawa nilang pangaras dyan sa ating EEZ. Anong mga susunod na hakbang ng Coast Guard dito, Commodore? Upang sa ganun ay pakinggan na tayo ng China, pakikinggan na tayo at hindi na basta-basta na lang babaliwalain ang ating problema dyan, ang hinaing natin. No? Sa atin yan Opo, Commodore.
Well, during the start of the year, sir, we have always been consistent with our approach. No, the first one is, of course, to document, report, and then submit this to the National Task Force West Philippine Sea. Dahil sa National Task Force West Philippine Sea, we have the Department of Foreign Affairs as a member of that interagency task force. And then from there, we process the decision points of each agencies. And it's for the Department of Foreign Affairs to evaluate whether there is a merit for any diplomatic actions that we will carry out as a country, But for the diplomatic protest, whatever means that they're going to file, it's for the DFA to carry out. And then the second point that we have been doing, sir, since the start of the year, is that for the Philippine Coast Guard, we believe that the more we publicize these aggressive actions of China, it somehow affects the behavior of the Chinese. It's not just we are creating awareness among the Filipino people about what's happening in the West Philippine Sea. Through publication efforts na ginagawa natin dito, sir, the more we expose them, the more we receive international support, and they are being criticized by other like-minded states who believe in international law and a rules-based order, sir.
Okay. Yung nagkaroon ng radio challenge, ano ang sinabi ng China sa ating mga Coast Guard?
Yes, sir. Ang tawag po kasi nila dito sa kanila is Renai. Sinasabi nila sa radio challenge nila, although it's in English na script na binabasa lang naman nila paulit-ulit, sinasabi nila this falls within Renai islands nila, and they have full jurisdiction and sovereignty over these waters, and that we are the one intruding their waters. Tayo naman po sa Philippine Coast Guard, we have our own script na pumasa sa NTF-WPS. We are asserting our sovereign rights over these waters, highlighting that this falls within our exclusive economic zone, and our sovereign rights is defined by the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea.
Okay. So, ito na lang po, at para sa ganun ay hindi na mauulit itong ganitong insidente, bagamat nandiyan pa rin ang presensya ng mga Chinese Coast Guard. Ipagpapatuloy pa rin ba ng Philippine Coast Guard natin ang paghatid ng mga supply mission natin dyan sa ating EEZ, at ano pong mga susunod na akbang natin gagawin para hindi na po maulit ang ganitong klaseng insidente?
Ang Philippine Coast Guard po sa pamumuno ng ating komandante, Admiral Artemio Abu, makakaasa po kayo, we still have the commitment to the Filipino people and to our President that we are tasked to maintain our presence in the West Philippine Sea. Despite the danger, despite the size of our way too smaller vessel compared to the Chinese Coast Guard, makakaasa po kayo, ang Philippine Coast Guard, we will maintain our presence. We will support the armed forces of the Philippines to whatever activities that they have to strengthen our presence in the West Philippine Sea.
Maraming salamat sa inyong oras, Commodore J. Torriela, ang tagapagsalita ng Philippine Coast Guard.